Never forget, 15 years ago, vaccines were still killing people. Our brave queen.
She's a beautiful cheerleader whose heartbreaking
Nice audio. Holy
story is shocking the nation. 25-year-old Desiree Jennings showed me how she can't walk without twisting, jerky movements. But she walks backwards normally. Doctors say she has a rare 1 in a million neurological disorder that was triggered 10 days after she got a seasonal flu shot.
Started with me not being able to eat without passing out.
You couldn't eat without passing out.
I visited Desiree and her husband Brendan at their home in Ashburn, Virginia, to see what their daily life is like. She has to go up and down stairs backwards because something as simple as walking forward can be dangerous.
And here's the unusual part about the disorder. Take a look at this. Desiree can run just fine. It's only when she stops. You see, that's where the spasms start. Now you can walk backwards though, and it'll make it better, right?
Yeah.
She runs with a normal stride, and as I ran with her, she even spoke normally.
And now you can talk.
Yeah, it's weird. It fixes as soon as I start running.
I mean, you sound.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
You sound amazing. And then you stop, and that's what happens.
Desiree got a flu shot on August 23rd. 10 days later, she came down with what doctors have diagnosed as dystonia, a rare neurological disorder. Her jerking and twisting are the result of uncontrollable muscle contractions. There is no known cure.
Are y'all ready?
Yes.
This is home video of Desiree as a beautiful bride when she married Brendan 2 years ago. And this is a photo when she was training to be a cheerleader for the Washington Redskins. Doctors say what happened to Desiree should discourage people from getting flu shots. But here's what the woman who's on the wrong side of being 1 in a million says.
Running has to be a relief.
The only thing I have left.
The only thing you have left.
Is this the same woman that they caught shopping when they did like a follow-up report? Or was that a different woman faking? Oh, it is the same person?
It's one of the most talked about stories we have ever had on Inside Edition. The young woman
This is how all audio sounded 14 years ago, by the way, guys.
who claimed she was suffering excruciating symptoms. An update that raises just as many questions as before.
Her story created a national firestorm. Desiree Jennings is the pretty ambassador for the Washington Redskins cheerleading squad who claimed she developed a rare neurological disorder called dystonia after receiving a seasonal flu shot, causing dramatic spasms and slurred speech.
Was this really super popular 14 years ago? Did you hear a lot about this? No, nobody, anti-vaxxers were retards 14 years ago. Nobody cared. They were just fucking, no one cared about them.
I used to be able to go sideways, but nothing goes now too.
So you used to be able to go sideways?
Yeah.
What made the story so startling is that her symptoms seemed to disappear when she walked backwards or ran.
Yeah, I can talk now.
Back in October, Desiree and her husband told me they
Wait, this isn't satire? No. This is, all of this is real. She was trying to convince people that she had like some vaccine injury.
worried they'd never find a cure. But look at Desiree now. We found her walking normally, playing with her dogs, going shopping, even getting behind the wheel of a car and driving. Hard to believe the woman we've been discreetly observing over the last few weeks is the same woman we met during the height of the flu shot scare. So we wanted to ask her about her remarkable improvement. We've been trying to reach you and you have not been returning our phone calls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's going on? It looks like you've made a complete recovery.
Well, I wouldn't say complete recovery. I still have a lot of cognitive issues.
So what happened? Did Desiree Jennings really suffer a 1 in a million reaction to the seasonal flu shot, as she says? Or is it all some kind of elaborate hoax? Or is it something else entirely? Take a look at this. It's an official report on Desiree's case by the Centers for Disease Control. It states the admitting neurologist felt that there was a strong psychogenic component to her symptoms. Psychogenic means that there is a mental or psychological cause for her spasms. Dr. Stephen Novella is an assistant professor of neurology at Yale who treats patients with dystonia, which is what Desiree claims she suffered from after the seasonal flu shot. He hasn't examined Desiree, but is convinced after viewing our...
Wait, did you see that? Did you see that?
For her spasms. Dr. Stephen Novella is an assistant professor of neurology at Yale who treats patients with dystonia, which is what Desiree claims she suffered.
He's putting the things up. He's putting the things up.
Cause for her spasms. Dr. Stephen Novella is an assistant professor of neurology at Yale who treats patients with dystonia, which is what Desiree claims she suffered from after the seasonal flu shot. He hasn't examined Desiree, but is convinced after viewing our video that her affliction is not dystonia.
The dramatic symptoms of movement and speech that Ms. Jennings is displaying is certainly not a reaction to the vaccine.
Desiree finds the idea that her illness is all in her head ridiculous.
Some people think it was psychogenic. Some people might even think it's a hoax.
I mean, people are free to believe whatever they want, but, you know, I mean, clearly what I've been going through, I know it's not psychogenic and it's not a hoax.
By now, you may have noticed something that surprised us. Desiree is now speaking with a foreign accent she never had before.
I'm from Ohio. I should not be talking like this.
Sounds like you have an Australian accent.
Yeah, I've heard Australian, British, but, you know, it just essentially comes down to the inability to pronounce words.
There's no way a flu shot can cause someone's accent to change. Absolutely not.
So how did Desiree go from this to this? She credited this doctor, an alternative practitioner named Rashid Buttar. He claims he reversed many of her symptoms in less than 48 hours using controversial therapies, including a hyperbaric chamber and intravenous injections of nutrients and synthetic amino acids.
She is well on her way to being fully recovered.
But Buttar has come under fire for his practices. The North Carolina Medical Board claims he engaged in unprofessional conduct for charging cancer patients exorbitant fees for unproven and ineffective treatments. Some of the very same treatments Desiree received. He denies any wrongdoing.
Are you concerned that your case has generated so much interest, and in particular, it has politicized the whole issue of vaccines?
No, not really. This is what happened to me.
We need to point out one other thing. When we first saw Desiree in this shopping center parking lot, she seemed to be walking normally. But as she left to get into her car, she was walking sideways. She says it was because of the dystonia.
All right, don't catch me driving because I don't think I'm supposed to be driving.
Ms. Jennings is no longer seeing the controversial Dr. Buttar, but she did show us a report from her current doctor who says he believes her symptoms were vaccination-induced.
Yeah, I'm sure that if everyone I knew hated me, couldn't bear to look at me, I wouldn't go so far as to shoplift.
Wow. Hold on. Do we have a completion to this arc?
You might not remember Desiree Townsend, but what about the flu shot cheerleader? A 2009 media sensation and early viral meme.
This man was sideways, but nothing goes now too.
She claimed she'd been injured by a seasonal flu shot,
This is
that
1
it
year
caused
old.
a twisted, jerking walk that disappeared when she ran or went backwards. The anti-vaccine movement was struggling, but saw an opportunity and embraced her as its new poster girl.
That's Desiree?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Desiree's not going to talk to you,
But they disappeared when Desiree was outed as a supposed faker.
Were you faking it? Definitely not. Unfortunately, I know the symptoms look bizarre.
Now, 14 years later, she's speaking out for the first time since the ordeal, motivated by the rise in anti-vaxxers in a post-pandemic world, and hoping to warn others who might get caught up in what she calls the anti-vaccine PR machine.
In the end of the day, these people are just going to use you.
COVID-19 wasn't on anybody's minds in 2009, but the country was in the grips of a different pandemic.
We have an update tonight on the swine flu virus.
Swine flu outbreak.
Swine flu death.
While health officials encouraged the public to get an H1N1 vaccine, a group of activists, led by an actress, was doing the opposite.
Without a doubt in my mind, I believe vaccinations triggered Evan's autism. So I think they need to wake up and stop hurting our kids.
Those false theories about vaccines had been debunked, but Desiree's story was making the rounds.
It is one of the most talked about stories we've ever had on Inside Edition.
A pretty cheerleader ambassador for an NFL team, strangely disabled by a vaccine, was ratings gold, and Jenny McCarthy's organization, Generation Rescue, wanted to use it to bring attention to their cause. A crusade spreading the disproven theories that vaccines caused autism and that unconventional treatments could cure it.
I was young, I was 25, I needed help, and I just had these people come to me and said, well, we'll give you that help, but here's the cost. You have to believe what we believe.
Generation Rescue asked Desiree to star in an anti-vaccine documentary.
You need to sit up. Come on. Sure, second.
It was never made, but...
Wait, hold on. I'm so sorry. Wait, I need to pay closer attention instead of reading chats. Wait, what?
It is one of the most talked about stories we've ever had on.
And Jenny McCarthy's organization, leader ambassador for an NFL team, strangely disabled by a vaccine, was ratings gold. And Jenny McCarthy's organization, Generation Rescue, wanted to use it to bring attention to their cause. A crusade spreading the disproven theories that vaccines caused autism and that unconventional treatments could cure it.
I was young, I was 25, I needed help, and I just had these people come to me and said, well, we'll give you that help, but here's the cost. You have to believe what we believe.
Wait, I was 25, I needed help. This was before she got vaccinated or afterwards, or?
Generation Rescue asked Desiree to star in an anti-vaccine documentary.
You need to sit up. Come on. Sure, second.
It was never made, but the footage was left with Desiree, who shared it with NBC News. They took her to Dr. Rashid Buttar, a controversial osteopath popular for his advertised miracle cures that could supposedly detox patients.
Everything's gonna be better. The world will be amazing.
The unconventional treatment seemed to alleviate her symptoms, at least initially.
You're a miracle worker.
Anti-vaccine activists claimed victory, and in the Generation Rescue footage, they strategized about Desiree's future, even calling her the next Jenny McCarthy.
She's gonna be able to help a lot of people. She's gonna be able to make a huge ruckus.
But back home, when the cameras were off, Desiree still felt sick.
When you have nothing left, no other option, of course you're going to turn to anybody who would come to you and say, we can help you. I just didn't realize what the cost of that help was.
We reached out to Jenny, but they disappeared when Desiree was out. Now 14 years later.
Were you faking it? Definitely not. Unfortunately, I know the symptoms look bizarre.
Now 14 years later, she's speaking out for the first time since the ordeal, motivated by the rise in anti-vaxxers in a post. Now 14 years later.
So she's saying that her initial symptoms of when she walked backwards, it was okay, but walking forward, she'd look like a retard. That was real.
Alleviate her symptoms, at least strategized about.
We will make a huge ruckus.
But back home, when the cameras were off, Desiree still felt sick.
When you have nothing left, no other option, of course you're going to turn to anybody who would come to you and say, we can help you. I just didn't realize what the cost of that help was.
We reached out to Jenny McCarthy for comment and didn't hear back. Former Generation Rescue President Stan Kurtz told us via text he's been, quote, out of this space for a long time and didn't respond to further questions. Dr. Rashid Buttar died in May. His family didn't respond to requests for comment. And according to her medical records, Desiree continued to seek treatment for her condition. But then, a series of new reports cast doubt on her story. One from Inside Edition was most damning. It showed Desiree playing with her dogs, walking normally and driving.
We've been trying to reach you and you have not been returning our phone calls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's going on? It looks like you've made a complete recovery.
Well, I wouldn't say complete recovery. I still have a lot of cognitive issues.
With that, much of the country had decided, it seemed, that the whole thing had been a hoax, and Generation Rescue dropped her.
I want people to know that I did not fake an illness. I am not a scammer. I am not a hoaxer. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not a liar.
But by then, the impact of Desiree's story was out of her control. Doctors and public health officials at the time warned about the power of a story like Desiree's. Dr. Paul Offit, director of the Vaccine Education Center at Philadelphia's Children's Hospital, discussed one account of Mac's vaccine hesitancy in an interview with PBS.
I spoke recently at a high school near here. There were about 200 people in the audience, and I asked them how many had gotten the influenza vaccine, and about half raised their hands. Of the half that didn't raise their hands, they said they didn't get it because on YouTube, they saw a Redskins cheerleader say that she had gotten the vaccine and had a so-called dystonic reaction.
Now, almost a decade and a half later, he says anti-vaxxers still use personal anecdotes to boost their claims, whether they're true or not.
We're humans, we're compelled by story. We're not so compelled by statistics. We're not so compelled by data. So if you do studies showing that the influenza vaccine doesn't...
Why does this guy look just like somebody? Who does this guy look like?
He says anti-vaxxers still use personal anecdotes to boost their claims, whether they're true or not.
We're humans, we're compelled by story. We're not so compelled by statistics. We're not...
Louis Theroux? Oh, maybe.
Not so compelled by data. So if you do studies showing that the influenza vaccine doesn't cause what you're seeing with Desiree Jennings, that's not nearly as powerful as her saying that it did.
And Desiree, pulled into the whirlwind back then, now regrets her impact.
If I caused anyone to not receive a vaccine or put their children at risk or themselves at risk, yes, I do feel an immense amount of guilt for that, but I really hope and pray that that didn't happen.
Desiree says her moment in the anti-vaccine spotlight has cost her jobs, relationships, and her reputation, and she no longer believes a vaccine is what caused her health problems.
I think I was already showing symptoms of this autoimmune disease. It's just that all of these variables came together in a perfect storm, and the timing looked like it was a vaccine, but it was not. It was correlation, not causation.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did she say what the autoimmune disease was?
Desiree turned towards science. She graduated in 2019 from the University of California, Irvine, with a bachelor's degree in biochemistry and molecular biology. When the COVID vaccine became available, she took it, and a booster. But the COVID pandemic brought out hundreds of other people like Desiree, posting unverified accounts of strange reactions attributed, they said, to the vaccines. Generation Rescue shut down in 2019, but new leaders and organizations took its place, this time stoking fears over COVID vaccines. Now, Desiree hopes she can set the record straight on vaccines and warn others from joining the anti-vaccine movement. What would you say to people who get wrapped into this industry?
I would tell them to run because they're never going to benefit from that. You're going to be used.
Brandy Zadrozny, NBC News.
It really is a fascinating story when you consider the environment today that we're in. You can read more about this on NBCnews.com. You can see the headline right there on your screen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there were times when I was doing Jack that I actually felt retarded, like really retarded. I mean, I brushed my teeth retarded. I rode bus retarded.
Damn. In a weird way, I had to sort of just free myself up to believe that it was okay to be stupid or dumb.
To be a moron.
Yeah.
To be moronical.
Exactly. To be a moron.
An imbecile.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
When I was playing the character.
When you was a character.
Yeah, I mean, as Jack, definitely.
Yeah. Jack. Stupid ass Jack. Trying to come back from that.
In a weird way, it was almost like I had to sort of fool my mind into believing that it wasn't retarded. And by the end of the whole thing, I was like, wait a minute, you know? I flushed so much out, how am I gonna jumpstart it up again? It's just like...
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You was farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Simple Jack thought he was smart. Or rather, didn't think he was retarded, so he can't afford to play retarded, being a smart actor. Playing a guy who ain't smart but thinks he is, that's tricky.
Tricky.
It's like working with Mercury. It's high science, man. It's art form.
Yeah.
You an artist.
That's what we do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hats off for going there. Especially knowing how the Academy is about that shit.
Wait. About what?
You're serious? You don't know. Everybody knows you never go full retard.
What do you mean?
Check it out. Dustin Hoffman, Rain Man, look retarded, act retarded. Not retarded. Count two picks, cheated cards. Autistic. Sure. Not retarded. You got Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump. Slow, yes, retarded maybe, braces on his legs, but he charmed the pants off next to him and won a ping pong competition. That ain't retarded. He was a goddamn war hero. Right. You know any retarded war heroes? You went full retard, man. Never go full retard. You don't buy that? Ask Sean Penn, 2001, I Am Sam. Remember? Went full retard. Went home empty-handed.
What is this? Was filming a video for our new drink when...
Oh, I know you want me.
I'm sorry?
You want me? Wow, look, there's a heart on my drink.
Oh, I draw a heart on every single drink that goes out.
No, not on theirs. Only on mine.
Oh, I draw it on every single one because I think it's cute.
Okay, look, this is where you asked me for my number.
I'm sorry, but I have a boyfriend, but thank you.
What does that have to do with anything? You drew the heart anyways.
I could remake a drink for you without a heart on it. Would you prefer that?
No, just man up and ask me for my number.
It's okay, thank you. But I'll remake the drink for you so there's no heart on it, okay?
This is the realest video I've ever seen literally in my entire life.
2 adults.
Yeah.
The reservation on our phone is clear, what we reserved.
Yeah.
What do you expect us to do?
Well, with that one, we could get you checked in. It came in.
With 2 kids, 2 adults.
Yeah.
The reservation on our phone is clear, what we reserved.
Yeah.
What do you expect us to do?
Well, with that one, we could get you checked in. It came in as a king suite reservation, so it has a king bed and a sofa pull-out couch.
What do you expect us to do? We have 2 kids and us. We can't all sleep in the bed. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I understand. It's the way that Booking.com sent us the reservation, so all that we have is that, and we're sold out for tonight.
Okay, I get that. So what do you expect us to do? That's my question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes, so we could either check you into the room or we could cancel the reservation. That's the only 2 options.
In our car?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, where else are we going to go? Are there any other Holiday Inn Express? What does?
Why? She's not being very helpful. The guy just mentioned that he has a car to sleep in. So you say, well, you 2 can sleep in the king bed and the 2 kids can sleep in the car. Boom. That's called problem solving. That's called dynamic solutions to novel problems, okay?
I don't have the power to do that, but there are Holiday Inn Expresses in Bloomington.
So you're not going to help us. You're going to say, take the room as it is, or you're on your own.
What I can do to help you guys is get you guys checked into the room that has the king bed and the sofa pull-out couch. But apart from that, we don't have any other rooms to check you guys into. If it's regarding what you guys reserved, you would have to call Booking.com so that they could assist you with something that happened on their end. But this is just the information that we've received from Booking.com.
Who hasn't checked in? What else is available with 4 beds?
We don't have any other rooms available.
Who hasn't checked in yet?
These rooms are reserved. I can't take them from somebody that's already reserved a room.
You gave somebody our room, right? The way it was supposed to be reserved?
No, because we held the room that we had the information for, which is the king suite. That's what Booking.com sent over to us. So we kept that room for you guys.
How did you think 4 people would fit in the room? I mean, when you see it come in, don't you go, this doesn't make sense?
No, because Booking.com sends us the information, so that's the reservation, and we hold it as it is.
So you think 4 of us can sleep in the room? That's your suggestion?
I'm not too sure how you guys were going to, do the setup in there. We just have the reservation as it was sent in to us.
I think these types of customers should be murdered on the spot. What do you think? True.
And you have no other alternative to solve it?
We're completely sold out for tonight.
I'm just stepping in. Like, you have a king bed and a full bed, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 beds and 4 kids. 2 kids and us. And it's none of your business either. What are you doing jumping into this?
Well, look, I mean, I don't think that it's that's not really respectful. I think we can just go ahead and cancel your reservation.
Then what are we going to do?
I'm not too sure, but there are a lot of hotels in the area.
Why don't you just sit tight for a second?
I will. I'll be here till 11.
Also fake. I don't believe it. I will say, God, fuck. The internet and phones and shit have they're making our world worse, okay? You know how you guys get ass pained that Ticketmaster buys up tickets from concert sales or whatever, okay? Do you know what my version of that is? There are 2 things where this happens. I don't know why I open Paint. It's hotels and it's restaurants. I think that restaurants have an agreement with reservation sites like Yelp to artificially hold open reservations just for those websites. So, there'll be famous steakhouses in Miami Beach. And I'll go to the steakhouse and I'll say hey, table for 2 or whatever. And they'll be like, table for 2? Huh, it's Tuesday night, okay? You got nothing. I'm like, okay, well, fuck me. I'll go outside and then I'm curious, can I make a reservation? It's $6.50. Maybe I can make a reservation for $8. I go on the website. Oh, no reservations available for the rest of the night. Whatever. But hold on. Then I'll go on Yelp and then I'll check and I can get a reservation for 2 in 10 minutes. And it's wait, what the fuck? I think restaurants will have special slots that they hold open just for booking sites that are even independent of their own websites. And I think it happens with hotels too, to where, oh, no, wait. Not hotels. It might happen with hotels. I'm not thinking of hotels. I'm thinking of car reservations, rental cars, where I can go up to a rental car desk and they'll say, sorry, we don't have any rentals available. But if you check on the website, there might be something available. And it's okay, well, that feels a little bit cucked. But I'm guessing that all of these sites have special agreements with the third-party site to hold open reservations or whatever in order to direct them traffic or some bullshit. But that's bullshit. It's a fucking racket. I don't know. It's cringe as fuck. Expedia does the same shit. Yeah, it's so fucking annoying. That's just market forces at work? No, that's weird cringe collusion shit at work, okay? It's cucked. Just charge more. Just charge more money, okay? If people can't afford it, then fuck them. Why hold? It's like the Ticketmaster ticket scalping thing or whatever. Just charge more money on the thing until people can't afford it or until you hit some equilibrium. All of the weird third-party deals and all the weird websites or whatever is just fucking cringe. It's just weird and and it's weird and cringe. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's weird and cringe. Fuck. I put a new set of retainers yesterday because the other ones are 6 months old, and they feel huge in my mouth. Okay, holy fuck. I actually wouldn't be surprised if it isn't websites holding, but the other way around. The hotels, etc., are holding for non-in-person demand. Wouldn't you want to hold for in-person demand, though? Like, the guy's already at your fucking place. Like, he's guaranteed to buy some shit, right? How many people walk into a hotel, ask for a room, and they're like, I'm good, actually, and then leave? Who does that? Here's what I'm guessing happens, okay? Here's what I'm guessing happens. You make a brand new, awesome website, and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna sell booking for hotel. And then you call Marriott and Hilton, you're like, oh, can we send you bookings? And they're like, man, we would have to like issue you like an API to check for like availability, and we don't have any of this shit built out, and it's just a whole hassle. And like, oh, well, what if we pay you money? We'll give you traffic and we'll pay you money, but you have to guarantee us some openings so people use our website. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, actually, let's fucking do that. And then that's like, Would you rather them overbook like they do on airlines and just get dragged out of your hotel room when someone with more money shows up? You don't have to overbook. You could just book the availability that you have. I understand overbooking on airlines because probably airplane space is a lot more limited than like a hotel room, depending on what you're talking about. Like, that makes more sense why you'd want to, and you're paying like a field charge and everything else. Like, it's probably a lot more damaging to have a plane fly empty or a plane fly below capacity than it is to have a hotel room go unrented for the night, you know? Destiny, hotels are 100% the opposite. They will not help with any sort of problem unless you book direct. They'll just blame the third-party site. Oh, sure, yeah, I'm aware of that 100%, yeah. Because they just go by... To be fair, though, I mean, the hotel can't do fuck all. They just go by the information that's sent to them from... that's sent to them from the booker. Hotel important worker boss guy here. This is exactly how it works. Having a mentally disabled communications rep is an odd grandfather tradition for third-party companies that stifles the process a bit, but we get things done. Booking on a third-party website just to complain in person at the hotel, classic customer behavior. That is true, that it's like retarded. It is retarded customer behavior, but also, I mean, to be fair, it is like pretty confusing for a non-tech savvy customer to have any idea what the fuck is going on, right? Destiny, what's so complicated about canceling and voiding the third-party booking and creating another one within their individual booking system? If I had to guess, imagine I send the booking to Hilton. I imagine that I'm sending Hilton some money, some percentage of that sale. If Hilton cancels it and then they send the money back to me, I'm probably going to want to know why it was canceled, right? Because Hilton could just like be taking advantage of me. Like, oh, hold on, I'm sending you all these customers, you're canceling shit on me and then rebooking them at your hotel. Excuse me, the fuck? I should be getting paid a percentage. I'm literally recommend. So there's probably like a whole last thing they have to go through for like if you do it too often or something. There's probably like an accepted rate or something.
אני need the direction to California, please?
Hey, you're a long way from home. Hey, who you with, man? Who you with, man? Who you with?
I'm with my friend Azamat Bagatov. We travel across the country.
You ain't be talking all that. You gotta be talking English around here. Hey.
You look like Michael Jackson. Beat it.
Man, you better get your
I like you peoples.
Yeah.
Can you teach me how to dress? How can I be like you?
Well, first, you need to loosen up that belt. Let them jeans down.
Pull them down.
Don't pull them down like you're finna go.
Like a hoe?
No.
Like a this?
Yeah.
But don't show your huggies though, man.
That fishnet?
No. These are my anti-pants.
What kind of music you listen to?
I like very much a Corky Butchek. You know Corky Butchek? Bing bang, bing bang, bing, ding 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 ding. Bing bang, bing bang, bing, ding 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 ding.
Boy, you sticky.
Can you teach me speak like you?
What you trying to say?
How you say how do you do?
What's up with it?
What's that with it?
Yeah.
I don't know how this was relevant to, but thank you.
What's up with it, vanilla face? Me and my homie Azamat just parked our slab outside. Please. We're looking for somewhere to post up our black asses for the night. So bang bang, skeet skeet, nigga. We're just a couple of pimps, no hoes.
Sir, you gotta leave.
Okay.
You gotta leave now, we're gonna call the cops, and we'll have you taken out.
גברת, מה אתה אומר את זה? זה אפילו שיטה לימוד בנגיוסקו.
Ben Giver threatens to quit. Cool story, bro. Also, just a quick thing. Fuck. Okay, I need to actually work today. Okay. This. Okay, I'm gonna put on my ultra pro pally hat for a moment. Okay, because it's very frustrating watching like Palestinians doing like a victory lap on some peace deal and then trying to attack Biden over this. Okay, so the war in Gaza that happened over the last 13 months, okay, might have resulted in more Arab deaths than possibly every Arab-Israeli war combined, okay, since 1947, all right? Number one. Number 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay, the amount of military victories and geopolitical successes that Israel was able to carve out as a result of that war. We saw a weakening of the Houthis. We saw a obliteration of Hamas. We saw further subjugation of the Palestinian Authority, okay, increasing security ops in the West Bank. We saw the obliteration of, with Hamas top 3 leaders dead, okay, we saw Nasrallah finally killed, infamous leader of Hezbollah for decades, okay. We saw Hezbollah completely fractured. We saw the Assad regime toppled, finally, okay. Potential expansion or solidification of expansion into Syria. And we saw a severe undermining of Iran, okay. All of the utter humiliation. All of this happened over this, year-plus war between Israel and Gaza, okay? Between Israel and Gaza. The idea that anybody would clap their hands from the Palestinian side and say, oh my God, we have a ceasefire. Yeah, no shit. Israel got to persecute their full war. And I think that the outcomes that they got were far and above, I'll say it with a bit of lagging humility, I guess far and above what I think anybody would have ever predicted, okay? The idea that this is something to be celebrated from the Palestinian side, because we're going to be going back to October 6th, essentially. Because, so here's what I'm wondering in terms of like outcomes. If Hamas is allowed to remain in power, What does this mean for the Palestinians? Probably no, obviously. There's going to be no permanent settlement to the issue. Obviously, there's going to be no, there's going to maybe be no union between the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. So no unified Palestinian government. Israel might still have cause to do the blockade. Israel might still have cause to restrict travel. Even if Hamas does exist in some form, it's going to be more isolated than it was before. And Netanyahu, I don't know what his popularity, is like right now. I imagine it's probably higher after military success, after military success, after military success. And especially if he's able to bring home hostages after all of this. When I was in Israel, when those, I think it was 5 hostages were released, there was like a countrywide elation. People were so happy. Everybody that I ran into was so happy when those hostages came back. If you're getting 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, however many are left hostages coming back, bro, it is the most unbelievable victory lap for Israel and maybe Netanyahu that could like ever happen. And the idea that somehow this is like a victory lap for Palestinians is like so horrible. I don't know, man. Holy shit. This was probably one of the edgiest tweets. I'm sorry. I roasted a lot of Palestinians, but the fucking with Zionists was just so fucking funny, bro. Fuck me. Do I even remember now where this was? Oh, this is in Tel Aviv. I think this was called Hostage Square. So being respectful, there are people that will come here and they will do not tours, but like they'll speak. It's usually family members of hostages. Sometimes former hostages will come and speak to people. And then they have a little timer here on, I think, how long the hostages have been held. I tweeted this out and man, Zionists get ass pained. But anyway, didn't the previous ceasefire deals fail because Hamas didn't have enough hostages? Do you think they'll somehow find new alive ones? No, I mean, it has to do with like how long the war is going to continue. I mean, like, Israel's not going to do this war forever, right? Like, at some point it's going to end. I don't know what other military operations they have to do with Gaza. I don't know what the fuck else Israel could even want in the region. What are they going to wait for the Ayatollah to collapse? Like, you're up so good if you're Israel right now. Holy fuck. You are up so good. Jordan and Egypt are big chillin', okay? Saudi Arabia is, and all of your Gulf friends are big chillin'. Qatar is still like mediating, I guess, disagreements between you and Hamas, whoever the fuck is left. Assad is literally flown to Moscow, okay? You were edging your Syrian borders the whole time. Remember, those borders between Syria and Israel, those aren't real borders. That's still just an armistice line. So when people were talking about, like, Israel might be expanding into Syria, yeah, there's not even borders there, bro. There's no recognized borders. They never agreed on them. So Israel's up big, okay? Like, Iran tried to bomb fucking Israel, and they got smacked down by U.S. carriers, by Jordan, by Saudi Arabia. Literally every fucking person came together with some fucking spirit bomb to swat away any Iranian missiles. I think the shell of one of the bodies dropped from the sky and I think killed a Palestinian. It's not funny that a person died, but just the fact that it's the only one they got. Like, it's just, they're up so good. If you are, dude, watching that video that's like, it's funny only because I'm not affected and it's so dark, but there's just like a dude walking in the street and this like the shell of this missile just falls out of the sky and fucking kills him. Like, how unlucky are you that you're that guy? Oh my God. That it just, it's so unlucky. How long do you think Hamas is going to need to come back from this if they stay in power, like 5 to 10 years until they can do another October 6th? You mean 7th? Can you explain what Trump contributed to the deal? I doubt much at all. Trump doesn't have to do anything. There was Steve something, I don't remember. There's a special envoy that articles are reporting that he was instrumental in getting a deal done, but like, I don't know what this deal is other than an absolute victory for Israel and an absolute surrender to from Hamas to Israel. It just feels like a total victory for them. Destiny, I'm Saudi and Saudi did not protect Israel. I thought Saudi Arabia, as well as Jordan and the United States, I thought all intercepted some of the missiles from Iran. Is that not correct? I thought there were a lot of different... It was in the first missile attack, I think, not the second one, right? Wasn't there a first one? Am I making that up? A huge prisoner release of Palestinian prisoners is kind of a loss for Israel. I mean, meh, barely. But Hamas is still going to be in Gaza, no? Yeah, but I think... So now I'm going to give some weight to the conspiracy, right? But what is like, there's elements of truth to that. Having a weakened Hamas in Gaza, I think is a successful state for an ultra-Zionist to maintain, because it guarantees that there's a separation between the Palestinians in the West Bank and the Palestinians in Gaza, because the PLO and the PA probably are never going to have Hamas as a part of them, unless Hamas is going to try to take new steps towards that. And as long as the Palestinians are not unified under the Palestinian Authority or the PLO, there's never going to be talks of a two-state, one-state solution, anything there. It allows Israel to probably still have an excuse to maintain the blockade and the travel restrictions, which is good for them. It helps keep that territory under control. And it allows them to continue to expand into the West Bank, right? Like... Let's see. Report. Gulf states, including Saudi Arabia, provided intelligence on Iran attack. Oh, okay. Maybe Saudi Arabia didn't shoot missiles, but they were just providing intel, I guess. Jordan was actually shooting missiles, though, right? While it was already known that Jordan actively participated in the downing of drones headed to Israel through its airspace, the Jordan report for the first time revealed the scope of drone activity stretching across the region, and that included countries that have no diplomatic ties with Israel. The report cited as officials saying the success in stopping so many drones and missiles due to Arab countries having passed on intelligence about the Iranian plans. So, yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, but the whole conflict was such negative PR for Israel, especially for young people. Don't you think this will result in the weakening of U.S. support to Israel in the decades to come, which will make it not worth it in the long term? People never think in the long term. I don't know if Israel thinks in the long term, but it might not matter. Like, Israel could theoretically move to be more independent from the United States. I don't know, like, I don't think I'm that smart to predict or understand, like, what Israel's relationships are like with all the surrounding Arab countries absent the United States. I'm not sure. But, I mean, like, if Israel is buddy-buddy with the Gulf, who else? The question, too, is, like, who else can even fight? Like... I'm still not convinced that there's like that Saudi Arabia even has like a real military or anything. I don't know what is in that country. Like, I don't know how Saudi Arabia has been at war with the fucking Houthis for a decade and like nothing is. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if their airplanes are not real or if the guns don't shoot real bullets. I don't know. I don't know what Saudi Arabia has for a military. I truly do not understand. I have no fucking idea. Egypt is just big chillin'. I don't know what they do militarily. Syria's been in a civil war for fucking ever. Hezbollah and a whole bunch of different Syrian groups fight. I don't know what Iraq's military looks like, and Iran usually fights with proxies. So I feel like Israel is literally and I think Israel is the only nuclear power, save for Pakistan, which I don't think has much active involvement in the Middle East right now. I think they're mainly concerned with fighting around with like China and India. So I feel like Israel is like the big boy in the region now. Turkey is stronger than Israel. They might be. I'm not sure. I don't know what Turkey does besides killing Kurdish people. No offense to either side. Destiny, you challenge more on. The Palestinians aren't celebrating because they won. They're celebrating because they're going to stop fucking dying. So I understand from a very white Western perspective, you think that like dying and living is the only thing that matters. But I will reiterate, the thing that people care about is justice. Okay? Like, the Palestinians, especially Palestinians growing up in the Gaza Strip, especially people who've lived their whole life under occupation, these are not people who like just want to not die. Okay? Bro, fuck, what we've seen videos of like, is it like Palestinian children literally running up to the backs of like Israeli tanks to plant bombs and shit? These are not people who are like, oh, I just want to not die. They want freedom. They want to have like a country to call their own, like a history that they can look back to and be proud of. Probably some kind of unification of their people, some land to live on, some welcoming back of refugees, like going back to October 6th, right? The status quo, I don't think is a big win for Palestine. And remember, the status quo for Israel, at least in the short term, is benefiting them. The status quo for Israel is good because it means further encroachment in the West Bank. It means a further expansion of Area C. It means more and more territory formally annexed by Israel. Like, that's all that means. You've got these crazy breeders, is it Hasidic Jews or is it Orthodox? What's the name of the guys that have all the fucking babies in the West Bank? The Jewish people that do this. These guys are like machine gunning out children like crazy. So to shore up their demographic advantages, like. Yeah. I don't know, man. God, I want to say things and I can't because I'm going to get banned on every platform. I'm getting radicalized. Why? If only this guy would have... If only he could have, do you know what I mean? Like... Fuck me, dude.